what's up? How you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to show you guys. As you can clearly see from the title, y'all came because I got a rabbit and I wanted to show him to y'all. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm just gonna give him a couple minutes because he's eating, and rabbits in general don't like to get picked up, and he kind of hates when I pick him up. He starts going kind of crazy. But towards the end of this video, I'm gonna introduce him to you guys. But anyways, so his name is Benny, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the process and stuff of what it took for me to adopt him, or just to get him basically. So it was a very stressful process. So it started out that I've basically been wanting a bunny for a while. I was asking Smith for a bunny since maybe probably even before Christmas time, or maybe after. I really don't remember, but I just suddenly got an interest in bunnies. I think it's because, well, I know it's because Smith's schedule is he works 5 days a week, 8 hours a day basically. So he works a full-time job plus overtime, and we don't really have time to see each other like that. Even though we do live together, it's still very stressful because he basically has kids to take care of, as well as just do things for himself. So we live basically two separate lives. And I was getting really lonely, so I was just I want some type of companion. And for some reason I didn't want a cat, I didn't want a dog. I kind of wanted a dog, I still want one, but I don't know, I don't like the idea of them barking at me. It sounds so bad. I love dogs, but they just be barking and they just be so loud, and you gotta take them out mandatory 3-4 times a day, and I'm just not with it. I don't know, it's very weird. I don't know, I just wasn't really interested in dogs. Everybody got a dog, and I've had cats my whole life, and then Smith and his kids are allergic to cats. Not really to dogs so much, but basically they're all allergic to cats, and I just wasn't interested in getting a cat. I don't know, I just wanted something different. I don't know who I saw, what I saw that made me interested in a bunny, but I just wanted a pet bunny. So months went on, I didn't get a bunny. It was Smith was telling me it was really hard for him to figure out how to get a bunny, because he only knew about breeders and stuff. And at first I was very against getting from breeders, because I felt I was very not oblivious, but I guess kind of ignorant to what breeders do. I felt they were just bad. People always made breeders seem like they were they're horrible people, they just breed them for profit, blah blah blah. But sometimes that's just not the case. People live on a farm, and yes, they do it for a living, for profit, but I don't think they do it, a lot of them don't do it with bad intentions, they can still refuse to sell you a bunny or whatever you want to buy from them. And it's just people buy dogs, people buy cats, so why can't you just buy a bunny? The way I went about it was I tried to go through an adoption on Pet Finder, and I found this rescue place. It was a rabbit rescue place. They only had rabbits. And overall, for me, this is my experience, no one else's experience. My experience was horrible with these adoption places. So I did the application. No, actually I emailed them first, and I saw these bunnies they had online. So I emailed them and was oh, I'm gonna inquire about this one. Let's just say his name was Buddy. Just Buddy, because I wanted a boy. So I was just I'm interested in Buddy, and I want to do the application form, whatever. I filled it out. Here it is. And they got back to me the next day. She told me after I did the initial application, I kind of filled it out to the best of my ability. I went through the packet that they had online. They had a brochure and just stuff. They had an adoption packet that you go through before you go on with the process to say that you want to adopt. So I went through all that. I filled the application to the best of my ability. And then they email me back and they're like, oh, can you kind of fix like A, B, and C? They were basically asking me, I think they asked me if I live with someone, or I think I mentioned it in my application that I live with my boyfriend. So he's like kind of the second adopter basically. And they wanted to like speak with him first before we moved on with the process. They wanted to speak to him first about the process, and it was just like, why, if he's the secondary adopter? But you know, I understand that you want the whole family to be okay with this decision of adding an animal to your house. So I'm just like, okay, like, so I called my boyfriend and I told him what was going on, and they're like, okay, cool. So we basically did a three-way, and we spoke to them, and then we got the okay. Like, everything was fine after she basically got his okay that we can adopt, whatever. But then here's the thing, she's asking more questions. She's asking me like personal questions, which was like weird. Like, I didn't think nothing of it first, but I'm gonna get to the root of this. So she was asking me a lot of personal questions that had nothing to do with rabbits or pets in general. Like, she only asked maybe like 1 or 2 questions about like my past cat, like, or about like the past vet that I used for my cat. And she was like, well, they don't specialize in rabbits, so which one are you gonna use? And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna use one of the ones that you have listed on here. Like, I've never like, how am I gonna know if I've never owned a rabbit? And you know that because I definitely said I'm a first-time rabbit owner. So she asked me that. She was asking me stuff about like my grandmother, because I told them that one of my main jobs is being a home health aide for my grandma. So I'm like, that's basically my steady income. I do go to school. I have an internship, but that internship is only temporary until May. But I'm looking at another internship during the summer. So, like, I'm constantly looking for work, like, more than one job, basically. She was just asking me, like, all those kind of questions. She was asking about what kind of, like, schedule and what kind of work my boyfriend does. I disclosed that information. But the thing that really got me offended was, I told her my grandma's disabled, obviously, because she needs a home health aide. Like, obviously, they don't just give doctors or home health aides to anybody who doesn't need it, you know? So, I'm like, she's been disabled. Like, she's always going to be disabled. But the way she said it was like, what if your grandma doesn't need you no more? Like, what if you only work that job for, like, a year? And in my head, I'm like, miss, like, hello? What? Huh? Like, you don't need to know about... Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why do you need to know that kind of information? Like, obviously, I'm going to figure it out if something were to happen to my grandma that I can't do the job anymore. Like, I don't know what she was implying. Like, I don't know if she was trying to make it seem like, I'm thinking about this right now. I don't know if she was trying to make it seem like, oh, like, what if your grandma died on you or something? Because she was asking her age as well. So I'm just like, why does this lady care so much about what my grandma needs from me and what kind of job I'm doing for her? Like, that's really not necessary. I'm just like, she needs it. She's like in her 60s. She's not like in a wheelchair or anything like that, but like, shorty, you don't need to know that. And like, even if she was about to die and she had like months to live, why is that like your concern? You know what I mean? Like, I'm 23 years old, but I'm not dumb. Like, obviously I can get other jobs. Like, I'm not just working internships, temporary jobs. Like, I just left a job after 7 years. Like, I explained that to her over the phone. Like, we had a nice conversation, like, but she was very passive aggressive, and you know, I was just trying to make a good impression. So I'm like, yeah, like, I just left my job after like 6 or 7 years. I've been there since high school, and then I started college, and I kind of stood there to you know, like, pay for school and stuff. I wanted a job that was gonna be like steady income for a while, and that job was a really good beginner's job that I had steady income like every week and things like that. So I'm just like, I left that job after 7 years, so you think I can't get another job that I'll be there for a while, whether it's my grandma's job or not? Like, I'm not incapable, you know? Like, I don't have anything that can stop me from getting a job, so why are you so concerned about it? Like, she just kept hitting me with like prices and telling me to go over the application 100 times, sending me videos. Like, she was basically implying that I need a big house and I need like X amount of dollars in my bank account. And if I can't prove that, then I am not fit to have a bunny, basically. Like, that was the vibe she was getting, because she was asking for pictures of my apartment. She wanted to come to my house. She wanted to see the space. She wanted to see if I had like good flooring for the bunnies, because they don't have pads like cats and dogs do. They don't have anything, so they can basically get easily injured, and they can't really be like on hardwood floors, so they need rugs. And she wanted to see how many rugs I had in the house. Like, she was counting how many rugs I had. She was checking the size of my apartment through all these pictures, and I'm just like, there's something weird going on here. So I was looking them up. I saw reviews of other people that had the same experiences that I did, and they ended up in the same situation where they wasn't able to adopt, because just the way that this person was asking a lot of personal questions and not really asking us about just like knowledge about rabbit care or informing us about rabbit care. You know, like, I was becoming really uneasy with that. Like, I just didn't want to do business with this person anymore. And I started looking at other places, and they were kind of giving me the same little runaround. Like, they wanted to ask questions. They wanted to like speak to my landlord. And it was just like, it was way too much for me, because my anxiety is off the roof. And that's another thing. I got him because I needed an emotional support animal. I got approved for one. So I felt like the bunny was just like the best thing for me. And at the same time, that it was just going to be something not only to help like with the anxiety and the PTSD and the stress and everything like that, but he was going to be an animal that was going to help me with my like well-being, because of their diet and because of like the way you have to handle them and care for them. That was going to be like an extra motivation for me to get up, you know. They'll eat like in the morning. You have to get up and you have to give them very specific food. So they have like their hay, they have pellets, but then there's also other things that they can have, like leafy greens, very specific ones like spinach, cilantro, parsley, and just like other things kind of like that. Lettuce, not the head of like iceberg lettuce, but like romaine lettuce, green leaf, red leaf lettuce, like those kind of things they can have. So that was something in my head internally that I'm like, okay, cool, like I have to buy this bunny these specific foods. That's gonna help me eat these specific foods as well, because I have such a horrible diet basically, and I'm not gonna let the food go to waste, you know. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to the bunny, but I can only give him so much, so it's gonna just motivate me. Like, you're gonna eat some, I'm gonna eat some too, you know. Like, sometimes you just need that motivation of stuff. Like, dogs and cats, you can't eat their same foods, but with a bunny you can kind of share a strawberry or a banana or a blueberry with them, you know. And just like, I got blueberries, you got a blueberry. You can only have one. They can only have like one a day, but it's still something. So when these adoption places were giving me like this runaround and just asking me like all these types of questions that were very unnecessary, I just didn't want to deal with them anymore. Like, I was even texting my friends, I was texting my cousin about it, and they were all just kind of like, yeah, like, I don't think you should move on with these people. If you really want one, you should just go and buy it. Like, that's like your last resort, is just to go buy it. My cousin even said that she doesn't even really like adoption places like that, and she's like a vet tech, so like that says a lot, you know. So my boyfriend was helping me a lot with that, because after all that happened, I had, well, during that whole thing, I was getting really stressed about it, because these people were basically making it seem like I was gonna have a bunny by the end of the week, and that didn't happen. And then they even ruined it more for me when one of them was like, Buddy has a foster mom that's been taking care of him for the last few months now, and we just found out that she wants to adopt him the same day that I was supposed to basically go get him, or the night before I was supposed to go get him. So I'm just like, this is like, it just bothers me even talking about it. Like, this is so like messed up, because why couldn't you just ask the foster care if they were interested in adopting Buddy, if they were if they were fostering them, because usually a lot of people do foster to adopt, or sometimes they just foster until someone adopts them. But I feel like if there's a specific family that is interested, you should reach out to that foster person like immediately to be like, hey, someone's interested in Buddy. Are you still willing to foster him? Do you want to adopt him? Like, let me know, you know? And I'm not saying that the adopter has to rush into the process like, oh, no, I'm going to keep him, or oh, no, I'm going to give him up kind of thing. Like, they definitely have time to think about it, which is all fair, you know? But like the night, like I'm talking like it was 9 o'clock at night, and I was supposed to go over there the next day at 11 o'clock in the morning. And you tell me that the foster wants to adopt him? Like, really? Come on now. Like, but, yeah, so my boyfriend was like, he felt really bad about it. And he went on Craigslist, and he went on, like, just online in general, just searching for bunnies. He sent me a few links to a few like Craigslist ads, and I was just like so hesitant because of the whole breeder thing. Like I told you guys initially how I just felt about them. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take your word on it. I'm gonna look at these. So I was like messaging a few people that I saw in their Craigslist ad about their available bunnies, and a lot of them didn't have any available. All fine. Like they contacted me fairly quickly, and then this one Craigslist ad, they had an Instagram, so I went to their Instagram. Their Instagram is Hop Along Farmette, something like that. They're in North Jersey, so that's where I adopted Benny from. And they were so nice. They didn't ask any like personal intruding questions. The price was, I would say it was decent, but it was decent for me. He was expensive. Like, he was more than $100 and like less than $500. So I'm just gonna let you think about it. So he was not cheap, you know. I submitted a request through their website just saying that I need an emotional support animal. Do you have any little boys available? And they got back to me. They're like, yeah, we have this little gray one right here. He's available. He's turning 8 weeks this weekend, or during this week, so you can pick him up on Sunday. So we made the plan. You have to make a $50 required deposit before you pick up the bunny, just for them to hold him for you, so they can know that you're serious about getting this bunny. And then you pay them the rest. You meet them like at a spot in Jersey. They go with their kids like in a local spot, like we met at a library. And you pick up the bunny and you give them what you owe. So that was the process of that. But I want to say about the family that everything was like, they have on their policy on their website, they can refuse service to someone who looks unfit for a bunny. So they're not just giving them to anyone. They're evaluating you. They're looking at like your Instagram stuff, because social media, they can look up your name. Like, like once you put an inquiry, like your information is kind of already all there, and they could just Google search you to see who you are and what you're about, So I think that's what they did with me, and I don't care. Like, information's online for a reason. Like, if you're online, your information's online. So yes, they do have the policy where if they do see you to pick up the bunny and you just look unqualified to have one, they will not sell it to you. They'll just put that bunny right back up for sale. So that is that on that. They're not just selling their bunnies for profit. They take very, very well care of them. They're a family of like, I think 4, maybe 5. They have a lot of kids. They're like a family-owned farm. We spoke to the husband who came to pick them up. They came with their daughter. Like, everything was legit. Nothing was sketchy at all about this family. And I'm just like super grateful that I did business with them, and I would do business with them in the future if I decided to maybe get Benny like a little girlfriend. But, I also want to state that bunnies are a lot of responsibility. I got him on Saturday, because they did text me and they said I could come on Saturday instead of Sunday. I got him on Saturday, and today is Monday. It's been 2 days, and it's a lot of work. But I already knew that. Like, I was prepared for that. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I specifically recommend Lennon the Bunny. She's great at like rabbit care and stuff. Like, I got all of my bunny information on there. I am not an expert. I am new to this thing. Like, I am new. Like, But I will tell you this, taking care of this bunny is like taking care of a baby, I swear. Like, not exactly the same, but it cuts close, you know what I mean? Like any normal animal, like they pee a lot, they poop a lot, they require a lot of maintenance. They're not like a cat where you could just like leave them alone kind of thing. They're very fragile, and you have to like bunny proof your house the same way you would bunny proof, like, or you would baby proof your house. Like, that's how different and unique bunnies are. So that's just like a disclaimer. Don't just go getting a bunny because they're cute. They're actually a lot of work, and I was up for it. Like, I didn't care. Like, I needed it for my health. I needed it for my mental health, my physical health, all that. Like, I just needed it to make me like just a better version of myself, because I know I could do better. So yeah, so enough rambling. I'm gonna show him to you guys now. Okay, I hope you guys can see him from here. But there he goes. I just got him on my shirt just because I didn't want to like scare him when I grabbed him, so I kind of put him on the soft little bedding so he wouldn't get too scared, because bunnies don't like to get picked up. That's one thing I'll tell you guys. And no, his paws are not dirty. All bunnies' bottoms kind of look like this, like yellow. He's just chilling right now, but I mean, yeah. You see? Hello. No? He has blue eyes. And he's just the most adorable thing in the world. He doesn't smell like anything. Like, nothing. Nothing at all. They're so clean. They clean themselves like cats. They kind of like rub their face and stuff. They do that thing. So you don't need to give them a bath. Just chill. Like, they're super fun. They're very active in the day and like during the nighttime, but him specifically, he's way more active at night. Like, he took a nap today. Like, he was chilling like the last couple of hours while I was at a meeting, and then all of a sudden he just started flying around the room. Like, he was doing binkies and zoomies and just being crazy. Like, I know he was kind of sad because I didn't get to take him to the park today. We went to the park the first 2 days that he's been home. So he went to the park and he got to like know us and stuff. He was having a really good time running around and stuff. And yeah, he's very active. He's like really chilling right now. He hasn't even like tried to leave yet. But yeah, like, he's just like, how could you not love this little thing? Like, I do get annoyed because you mark your territory and you're not potty trained yet. He pees in the litter box. He just doesn't poop in the litter box. And that's what I'm trying to get him to do. But yeah, you annoying. But it's okay. Because I love you. Wee. I'm going to put you down now before you get really annoyed at me. So you got to hold them that way because, like I said, they're very fragile. And they'll kick you because they don't like to be picked up. They like to be like pet, but not really like picked up, and like they don't want to be like only a face. But he kind of just does his own thing. Like, right now he's just wandering. He stands up like on his 2 feet a lot, so like that's how I know he's comfortable. Also, like, he stretches himself out. Like, he'll have his legs like all the way back stretched out. He yawned because like the first day he was very like hunched, like just hunched, like just scared. And now he's like, he's really getting into his personality. He loves to jump into places that he's not supposed to. So that was another thing I noticed. The first day he didn't do it, and then yesterday and today, that's when he like really started showing out. So I'm just like, okay, like, I'm really happy about it, but I just don't want to give him too much freedom to think he runs this house, because he don't. He loves the carrier. That's just another thing. Like, he's literally sniffing the carrier because he thinks that when he goes in the carrier that he's going to the park. He's used to it already. Like, he goes into a regular carrier just like a cat. This is his carrier. So he really likes this. Like, just notice he peed on it. That's great. But whatever, I just wash it. He loves the carrier because I guess he just noticed that every time he goes in there, he goes into the car and he ends up in a park or he just ends up outside. So it's not that hard to get him in there. Like, you can follow him on Instagram because yes, I made him an Instagram page. If you thought I didn't make him an Instagram page, you're bugging. His name is Benito Bunny. Oh, I didn't even talk about why I named him that. I basically named him after Bad Bunny because Bad Bunny is my favorite rapper of all time, and he's Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican. That's by default. Like, he's gonna have that name. Like, come on now. Like, it's not spelled the same only because when I tried to make his Instagram and I put Benito Bunny, like just straight, like with no symbols or nothing, it was not available. And the only way it was available was if I added an extra N. And I think it works out because Bunny has 2 N's, so Benito with 2 N's would just be... That's cute, like, Benny Bunny. Thank you guys so much for watching and just like listening to my story. I'm not saying all breeders are bad, and I'm not saying don't adopt, but just that was my experience, like I was saying. And you know, if you can and like you can afford it, and you know, like you live somewhere where like adoption places are not gonna judge you because your house is tiny, you know, adopt. Like, you know, adopt some animals that are in need of like loving homes. They got abandoned, and, you know, they have a lot of abandonment issues and like probably a lot of trauma as well, so they need someone that's gonna really love them and stuff. And I wish I could have did that, but it just didn't work out for me. And, you know, things happen for a reason, and I'm just very grateful that I did get Benny at the time that he did, because now I can just train him to do what he needs to do. He can learn tricks and stuff, so I think that's like another just like blessing in itself, because like I'll always be his mother. He's not gonna know anyone else as his mother, so I'm just like grateful for that, you know. So yeah, like I said, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because that is not the first of Benny that you guys are going to see on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Later.